go ahead and tell us about that big bluegrass festival you got planned?
Okay, you ready now?
Yeah.
Okay. We will be having our 12th annual Monroe Bluegrass Festival. It'll start on Thursday, May the 27th, and run through Sunday, May the 3rd. We've really got a lineup for you this year. Biggest, I guess, ever. We'll be there all 4 days. Bill Monroe and the Bluegrass Boys all 4 days. We'll have Jimmy Martin, Larry Sparks, the Country Gentlemen, the Marshall family, the Goins brothers, Dave Evans, and Lonnie Glosson and Wayne Rainey. A lot of you folk years ago have probably heard Wayne Rainey on WCKY in Cincinnati, Ohio. He had a very popular show years ago. And we promise you a good time. That's between McClure and Coburn, Virginia, at the Stanley Brothers Old Home Place, May the 27th through May the 30th. Come and be with us. We promise you a good show from Thursday through Sunday.
Sounds like a lot of fun. While you're talking, the folks are able to hear Bill Monroe singing outside. How long have you known Bill?
I've known Bill, let's see, for, I'd say 25 years real good.
Yeah. I'd say you get to know Phil News for 25 years.
Yeah, well, I should, yeah. Of course, you know, I've heard Bill for, I'd say 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're aging them quick. Let me ask you another question. How long have you been playing the banjo? You put years on it?
I've been playing the banjo, I guess, let's see now, how old am I? Let's see, 50. I've been playing the banjo about 42 years, I guess, but I've been playing it professionally 35 years, well, just last October.
Can you tell us a story about when you first picked up the banjo?
Well, it's been so long, it's hard to remember too much, but I started playing the banjo when I was real small. My mother bought me one, and I started playing. The first way I learned to play it was the old claw hammer style. I could play Shout Little Lily and songs like that. And I'd say I've been actually playing about 4 years.
Around here, prefer the guitar over the banjo. Why did you choose the banjo?
Well, I don't know. I just like the sound of the banjo, and I still think it's one of the prettiest sounds that you can find in an instrument. And I like it, and it's easier for me to play than the banjo.
Yeah. What kind of banjo do you play?
Well, right now I'm playing a Stanley tone. I have my own banjos built, and I sell them. I'm going to have 50 banjos made of the kind that I'm playing now, chrome plated, and there'll be 50 gold plated. And the one I'm playing right now is number 20, and I've already sold 2 gold plated banjos. They're going to be only 100 made.
Who can buy a Stanley banjo?
Who can buy? Anybody that wants to buy them from me.
They're right from you?
I'm the only one that can sell them a Stanley tone banjo. And like I said, there'll be 100 made, 50 chrome and 50 gold plated. Someday, I guess when you and maybe a lot of people get as old as I am, it might be a collector's item.
Well, you have a collector's item playing with you, and his name's Curly. And he has got more energy than I care to talk about. Folks on the show tonight are going to be able to see him dancing around more so than the cloggers did on the floor.
Yeah. Well, now, I'll tell you what, I pay him a little extra. Furnish all of that energy to make up for him and me both.
Yeah. Curly, what's your full name?
Ray Cline's my real name, but Curly Ray Cline's the way people know me.
I guess that's because of your long curly hair.
I guess I'm going to cut off now a little frosty right now.
How long have you been with Ralph Stanley?
But 15 years in October.
Yeah. And it looks like you still have as much fun now as you did 15 years ago.
Well, like Ralph says, I'm the oldest one in age, but the youngest one in when it comes to work.
Where does all the energy come from?
It's pretty hard to explain. I don't hardly know myself. I see myself out there, and I don't realize that I do that much till I look back and see what I've done. But it is something gets with me that you can't set me down, or when I'm recording, I have a hard time holding me on my back because I got to move. Everything in me's got to move when I'm playing. It's just like Ralph was singing the gospel songs. It's a feeling there that's hard to explain.
You could tie him up and he couldn't hit a note.
I can't, Now, if you give me a fiddle, Jared, I can't play a lick sitting down. I've got to move with it. And I've been
got
like
some
that.
interesting moves.
Well, thank you. I've been doing like that since I was 7 or 8 years old. And he has a little boy is starting out exactly the way I did. He just has to move, and he'll wear the strings out trying to play as far as his daddy. He'll try a fiddle, he'll try a banjo. I've got a boy that tries to play, but he don't put as much inside.
Yeah.
And he'll wear his fingers out.
He'll wear the blood out of his fingers, and he'll jump on his daddy, because he works so hard, see, and try to keep up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like traveling with the band?
Well, I like traveling with the band I'm with.
As long as I'm with you.
Yeah. The way we done when I signed up to play with him, we agreed to play with each other till we died.
As long as
And I
we
don't,
live.
and I don't know how long we're going to live, but I hope we live forever.
We're under contract that way.
To play as long as we live together. You see so many bands switching around, and it's just, I don't think it's right. I mean, sometimes they do better, and most time they do worse.
Where did Curly learn to play the fiddle?
Well, Dad was an old-time fiddler, and my favorite fiddler was old fiddler Arthur Smith. He didn't do it by motion, he did some fiddling when he wanted, if he keep him sober. And I played some with him when I was 13 years old. Well, you hear people copy, but I played with some like my dad, and I played some like Smith, and I played a few notes like myself, and everybody says I got my own style without a tip. I'm not the greatest fiddler in the world, but I've got something people like.
The dude is the greatest comes along.
I'll do to the greatest comes along.
If anything, he's the greatest dancer that ever played with the Bluegrass Band.
Well, I guess that goes with it.
Ralph, who do you pattern yourself after? When you were younger learning that band, who did you imitate?
Well, that's something I didn't imitate anybody.
Because a lot of folks try and imitate you, right?
Well, naturally, this three-finger style, I've tried to do it just as much as I could like I feel it. And I never tried to copy anybody, because if a man does his own stuff, good or bad, well, he gets the credit for it. And that's what I always try to do. I've got as far as I know, my own sound, and that's what I believe in. Doing your own stuff.
That's a good sound.
And the way to tell that's when you walk out to that record.
The way I can tell is where everybody's screaming and hollering
Right,
when
you
you walk
are.
out.
So when they're screaming, and when you go out there and me or him one, they're going to come and see what you got. I mean, these people say, well, Curly's, he don't do it like somebody else, or Ralph don't. We do it the way the people want it done.
We do it our own way.
Our way.
And we're thankful that people like it.
That's exactly right. We're tickled to see people out there who's coming in snow hundreds of miles to sit there and watch us.
And it's pretty consistent.
That's right.
Ray, what was it like, Ralph, without Curly the applause generator 15 years ago? What was music like without him as part of your band?
Well, we've had a lot of good fiddle players before Curly come along, but we've never had a man that could get out on the stage and sell it like Curly can. Curly can fiddle and he can sell it. A lot of people stands there and plays, which I do. I can't cut up like Curly, but it helps, and people
The
enjoy it.
personalities seem to really complement each other. Because Ralph presents a very dignified presentation of the music, the bluegrass, and Curly lends that little bit of lightness that makes the evening the high point of the fun. That's good. I
think it's a good combination.
Yeah.
It's like Don Reno. He had a red smile at that. Great band together. But he said Ralph Stanley and Curly Ray Cline was like a pair of gloves. When you lose one, that you got to have exactly the pair. You know, it don't work with something else. He said it's just something that's hard to explain.
Ralph, can you tell us a little bit about your brother that you dedicated that song to?
Yeah, I started playing with my brother back in 1946 when we started that group known as the Stanley Brothers and Fence Mountain Boys. And Carter, as far as I'm concerned, was one of the best songwriters and one of the best bluegrass entertainers as far as I'm concerned has ever been. And I think he's done as much for bluegrass as any man. He may not get the credit, but I think deep down he's done it. He wrote, I don't know how many songs, and Carter really worked hard to try to promote the kind of music that we're doing now. And the only thing I hate is that Carter had to leave about the time that the bluegrass music really got to going good. Because if anybody deserves some good time, that Carter did.
How do you feel when you're doing that tribute? What goes on in your mind?
Well, I wrote that recitation shortly after Carter passed away, and it was about 2 or 3 years before I could ever get enough nerve, to do it. But finally I did and recorded it. And of course I got used to it. But still, it brings back a lot of memories. And I do my best to try to not to think about a lot of the things, back in the past. I just try to keep it out of my mind.
What is your favorite song that your brother wrote?
That my brother wrote?
Yeah.
Well, that's hard to say. He wrote so many pretty songs, I think. I just don't have a favorite. I think he wrote a lot of fine, good songs.
Well, I think that's a good interview right there. Is there anything special you'd like to say?
Well, I'd like to say that when this goes on television, and all the people that's watching, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for making the Stanley sound a success. And you'll never know how much I thank you from the bottom of my heart for keeping the Stanley sound alive, and I hope it'll stay alive for years and years to come.
Ralphie, thank you.
Thank you.